coming up here ahead of the episode, I just wanted to let you guys know that this episode was recorded before the news came out about Dakota. In case you guys didn't know, my best friend Dakota, he passed away on Valentine's Day this year. It's been really tough on us over here. I mean, how do you eulogize a person who meant so much to so many people and was the best friend and like a brother to you after 17 years of knowing somebody? How can you just easily break that down into an easy, minute or 2 minute conversation? But I guess there'll be more about this on the episode that will be coming out shortly, probably in 2 weeks or a week or two. But just to jump ahead of this was recorded before that, so if we don't bring it up, that's the main reason why.
Welcome to Becoming Saiyans,
a Dragon Ball rewatch podcast.
And we're back. I'm Truman.
And I'm Jesse.
And this has been Becoming Saiyans, a Dragon Ball rewatch podcast. On today's episode, we watched 2 episodes of Dragon Ball, those being episodes 64 and 65, titled The Last of Mercenary Tao and Confront the Red Ribbon Army. These both, this first aired, the Last of Mercenary Tao aired on May 27th, 1987, and in America it was November 7th, 2002, whereas Confront the Red Ribbon Army was June 10th, 1987, and November 8th, 2002. So yeah, it sounds like they came out like a week and a half after each in Japan, but still doing the day-to-day binge in America. So,
yeah, it seems like there must just be
blocks where they do like blocks of time where they show a bunch and then they take a break and then show a bunch and then take a break.
I would assume it comes down to like how fast they do the dubbing. So they dub a bunch of episodes and they release them, and then they dub a season's worth of episodes and they kind of release them as a block. Dub a season's worth of episodes, and like in America, season like 12 episodes at that point.
Yeah,
that point in time. So,
yeah.
Maybe that's the theory. Obviously, we don't know because we're not living in the 80s.
Yeah, we weren't there, or in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So we weren't really there for either of those.
Well, we did live that time, but
we also weren't watching. I was 5, so I wasn't watching it, and you were like 1, so you weren't watching any of it.
It's like we were too young to know what even Dragon Ball was, especially because our parents they weren't nerds necessarily.
Yeah. Not of that. They were more sci-fi, Star Wars, Star Trek stuff. But not really for that. So,
yeah.
But some differences from the manga for the first episode is that Tao never tries to climb the water or climb the tower in the manga. The fight just goes on uninterrupted, and with Tao gaining a momentary advantage over Goku, so that Goku can learn and then counter it.
Yeah.
So everything about Tao testing the results of the water are anime only. The scenes
which I think was brought up in the last podcast episode.
Yeah, well, it was brought up a little bit on the trivia or the differences in the last episode, but yeah. The scenes with Korn watching the fight are filler. Appa stands beside a tree in the manga watching the fight in the second half, but in the anime he watches them from in front of the TP. Goku punching Tao before kicking in his face is not in the manga. The scenes of Kame House are filler, which we kind of assumed. In the scenes of Red Ribbon Army HQ are filler. There was no mention of a tracking device being placed on Tao in the manga.
Yeah.
Some trivia is that during Goku's dream of Bulma showing many flashbacks of scenes of hers, the part of him taking her panties off was reanimated to be reanimated differently from the way it presented in the episode it was in. Similarly, the scene of Bulma lifting her dress up for Roshi was reanimated differently. Goku eats a banquet with Appa and his teepee, but Goku should not be hungry since he had a senzu bean 3 days earlier. And they're supposed to, satiate their eaters for 10 days. This could be seen as Goku's, foreshadowing for the Saiyan stuff, because, 10-day estimate doesn't take into account that biology. It's unlikely because neither Toei or Toriyama knew that Goku was supposed to be an alien yet when they were making this. The victims shown in Tao's vision consist of an unidentified man, General Blue, Bora, and the Tailor, in case you were wondering.
Yeah.
And then that's all we have for the first episode. So moving into the second episode, Confront the Red Ribbon Army, the differences from the manga are the scene with Red playing golf and hearing of Violet's accomplishment as filler. Colonel Violet only appears for 2 panels to give Red the Dragon Ball. The anime, shows her getting it and everything, all that kind of stuff. The scene of Bulma launching the scouter drone and having launch helper as filler. In the scene of Roshi, using the plane to do Roshi things, also is filler. The scout plane's journey to the base is expanded in the anime, with Bulma having to make it dodge some defense systems before it's destroyed. And the manga was destroyed by a lone Red Ribbon scout. The trivia for this one is Launch has once again swapped personas in this episode to the tomboy mindset. Additionally, she doesn't react in rage when Bulma gets angry with her. She also seems more passive and cooperative than previous experiences, which we both pointed out while watching it and probably notated a little bit.
Notated a little bit. I have a theory that's probably stupid, but I have a theory about that. But
okay, yeah. The woman on the beach who disrobes has her stuff exposed for a single frame, but there aren't any nipples on them. So that's a trivia they have here. Red's silence at Black's proclamation of ruling the world is a hint to something, something, something. The scene with Roshi looking at the woman undress, only to reveal a man, was removed in the Toonami version, because, yeah. Yamcha witnessed Goku and Bulma leave Capsule Corp at the end of Danger in the Air. But when Bulma calls him here, he says, Dr. Brief told me that you went to go hunt Dragon Balls with Goku, as if he wasn't there to see that.
No continuity error.
Yeah, I think it's more of like, it's like how Stanley used to say every comic is somebody's first comic. Yeah. It's like every, if you're picking up episode 65, you needed to know, like, why Yamcha knows about this stuff,
Yeah, it's a quick way to...
And it also lets you know that, like, Bulma's dad and Yamcha at least know each other. Helps you kind of fill in some of the gaps a bit. The narration at the end of the episode, after Goku says, I've been waiting for this, is only in the English dub. The Japanese version only had the song With a Burning Heart Defeat the Red Ribbon Army play as Goku approaches the base. Additionally, this narration mistakenly refers to Commander Red as General Red. The Blue Water dub completely removes the montage from the end of the episode. The Peck Peck tribe is renamed the Crawlips in the Blue Water dub. They're also mentioned to be cannibalistic in that dub, but that's never stated in either the Japanese version or the Funimation dub.
Which is the version we watched.
Yeah, we watched the Funimation, so... Yeah. And that's all we have on the trivia. So previously on Dragon Ball, Tao gets to the top of the tower, runs into our main man Korin, who's kind of the MVP of this episode, because he's like, here's some water, I put my booger in it, it makes it sacred. Now drink this water. Oh, will it make me stronger? Yeah, so much stronger, don't worry about it. And then he shoots, Tao's worry of this, because he's like, it just looks like regular water, what do you mean? And so Tao shoots his Dodon Ray at the wall, and then does it again to see how much stronger he is. And then as he's turning around to like threaten to throw one of those jugs on top of Upa from the top of the tower, Korin blasts it and says, look, it took just a little bit longer, The effects were setting in on your power, yada yada, I'm lying to you, but you don't know that. You suspect, but you don't know. Also, here's like a nega nimbus cloud to come in here and fly you down to the bottom, the anti-nimbus.
That's what I typed, anti-nimbus.
Yeah, and he, as he's getting about halfway down the tower, Korin just turns off the powers of it, and he just falls straight to the ground. So the fight continues, and it looks like Tao did get stronger until Goku just, like, shows and is like, I was just letting him beat up on me to see how strong you are. Now it's my turn to, like, basically destroy you. Tao plays possum for a second before trying to throw a grenade at Upa and Goku. And Goku kicks it back into him, and that is the end of Tao. And Goku takes off to go get the other Dragon Balls from the Red Ribbon Army. While in our B-plot, Red finds out that Colonel Violet has found one of the Dragon Balls. So now, combined of knowledge, there are 6 of the 7 Dragon Balls within possession of one of our 2 people.
At least what it seems to be, yeah.
Yeah, Red has 2, and Goku has 4. And so there's one out there that nobody knows about yet. But Bulma, with the help of Launch, build the spy, finally finish up their little spy radar, drone, and go after to find Goku, and then realize that Goku's not flying towards the Kame House, but actually towards the Red Ribbon Base, which Launch knows about. And with that, that's kind of where the episode ends off, with just a montage getting you ready for the last 2 episodes of this saga.
Well,
and
yeah, because
here, that's what you missed on Dragon Ball. Jesse, go for it.
Yeah, it was obvious kind of what was filler and what wasn't, but that was mostly just because a lot of the filler was just continuation of the filler from the last episodes.
Yeah.
Where we discussed, well, this is anime. Well, I guess it's just filler, but anime exclusive.
There was some filler in this episode, and it was probably some of my least favorite parts, So, but you can continue with what you were saying.
But it's one of those things where it's just like, I think probably a majority of it is just kind of giving more background about why characters are getting ready to do certain things.
Yeah.
Because it would be strange if suddenly just the entire ensemble, including Evil Launch, like Angry Launch, I guess I should say, just showed up at the beginning, in the middle of the next 2 episodes.
Yeah.
It gives you an explanation of why and where they're showing up from.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
What are your first initial thoughts of these episodes? You kind of skipped over it. Normally we start with that. So
yeah, they're good. I mean, I enjoyed them.
Yeah,
they're fun.
I think
it's very obvious we're getting it towards the end of the saga. I think we mentioned
the next episode will be the end of the saga.
Yeah, the next 2 episodes will be the end of it.
Yeah.
The next 2 episodes of the anime, next episode of the podcast is the end of the saga, which is nice that we don't have to do an extra long episode.
Yeah,
We just have just straight 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're at the end of the saga, so obviously you're trying to, tie up loose ends. You knew Tao was gonna get defeated in these 2 episodes.
I mean, the fact that it said the end of Mercenary Tao for the first episode kind of gave away the game there.
You knew Goku was heading off to go find the Red Ribbon Army. The things you didn't know was, everybody else is going to show up and help Goku, or this is going to happen, or that's going to happen.
Yeah, the thing about these episodes that kind of grinded my gears a bit was it's not a problem because it's you don't want it almost felt like they didn't want to end the arc on a 3-parter.
Yeah.
It felt like they wanted to have 2 episodes and then end it on a 2-parter. And you can kind of feel that in these episodes because they're, in the first part, in the episode 1, the cutaways to Bulma and stuff is just, it's dragging for a little bit, The fact they added the whole Tao thing, while it was great and it was hilarious to see Korin just kind of give this guy the business, be like, "Oh yes, you're so great and so strong. Here's the water." It was
kind of a great way to show what Korin has done to everybody else who he deemed unworthy of at least working with.
Yeah, or unpure of heart.
Yeah, just coming to get the power to be bad.
Yeah,
it's it's fun to see how he treats those characters,
and the fact that Tao immediately failed the very first test. The past, present, future stuff. And he looks in and he's like, "Well, that's dumb," and then moves on. And he's like, "Okay,
it's pretty bad for a guilty conscience." And Tao,
yeah,
and it's no, Tao doesn't care.
Yeah, Tao's not guilty.
Tao would kill another 100 people if it made him infinite amounts of money.
Yeah,
he doesn't give a crap.
And so, there are parts of these episodes where you can feel the pull, and it's not bad. There are parts where it is bad.
There are filler parts where it's bad, and those filler parts are going to probably be both of our worst moments.
Yeah, but there are also
the Roshi moments we've mentioned.
Yeah. Oh, for me, it's actually going to be the end of the second episode. We're not there yet, but that really bothered me.
Well, the whole montage?
The whole montage, where it basically shows everything that happened in the last saga. And I know I just said a little bit ago about, every episode somebody's first, so you got to catch everybody up. But the fact that, that made it feel more like this was, that second episode wasn't as necessary, The first episode, I think, was pretty necessary, and the parts where they extended felt worthy,
Mm-hmm.
Giving us since they added Tao climbing to the top of the tower, you got to conclude that some way, and Goku letting them get a little bit of a punch and stuff in just to prove that he's stronger, all that stuff makes sense. But the second episode is where a lot of my issues with the extending parts come in.
And I'm a little different on that because I actually kind of enjoyed the montage.
Yeah,
I thought it was a great way. Like, I would understand, like, on subsequent watches, yeah, it would be very annoying. It's one of those things where, like, as a first-time viewer, I probably enjoy it more than someone who's watched it multiple times.
And, and the fact that it feels like this is the end, like, we're done with the Red Ribbon Army after these 2 episodes. Getting a little bit of that episode to flash back over everything that Goku's done with this army is probably a smart move, especially if you haven't been watching week to week or day to day when it was coming out. Like, it makes sense that you'd want to put that there. My issue with it is just that, like, it goes on so long, and the narration is the problem. If it was just the scenes with the music that's playing in the background, that the original song written about how we need to stop the Red Ribbon Army, like, pretty cool idea for a song, but having the narration over top of it, for me, in my opinion, it kind of ruins the scene a little bit, Yeah. It's like, we don't need you to tell us what Goku's feeling. We can see it on his face. We can see it because he's seeing the flashbacks in his memory. And the song sounded really good when I could hear it.
I would definitely. I guess I don't hate that. I do just wish, like, they would have had a chance to play the song, and then there's, like, a little bit of narration at the end of it or whatever.
Yeah, or, like, just do some sound mixing where the song's at least loud enough that we can hear it. Because
I definitely was trying to, like, I was reading the subtitles of the song, because I think the song that was playing was still the Japanese version of the song, and you had the English subtitles for the song. So I was reading that, but I couldn't, like, read it in rhythm with the song. Like, obviously it's not going to match.
Yeah, because you couldn't hear the beat very well.
You couldn't really hear the beat. You were just reading the lyrics. And then the narration, like, kind of
boomed
in and out.
Yeah.
Like, there's parts of it I picked up, parts of it I didn't. But I don't hate it.
Yeah, but I
get why it grinds your gears.
Yeah, that's one of my bigger parts, But going back into the episode, the end of Mercenary Tao is a glorious end, in my opinion.
There's no better way to just end a person like that than with a big boom.
Yeah, and the fact that Korin kind of just iced him to, like, set him up on a platter for Goku. Yeah. He's like, yeah, he's so much stronger now. He's coming back down, and then sending the Nimbus Cloud, which I called the Nega Nimbus because of, like, the Nega Chin from the, like, versus the Crimson Chin from Fairly Odd Parents,
Yeah, but no, I thought it was really funny. I kind of had a feeling something, like, I think I mentioned it, like, a few seconds before he did it.
You were like, it'd be funny if Korin, like, pulled the cloud out from underneath and he just fell down.
And then, like a couple seconds later, he does exactly that.
Yeah. Well, I think you said you were gonna have him, like, stop it,
stop
fall.
And like, it just keeps the momentum.
Yeah, going. But no. What happens is Korin literally just, like, turns off whatever.
Turns off the standing ability.
Yeah, like the non-pure of heart standing ability.
And it just goes. It's so funny. I also loved, like, it's another look into Korin's mind where it's like, I don't need him getting any stronger by climbing back down.
Because at first it feels like it's just going to be like a giant FU to Tao, which it partially is. But also part of it is like, he climbed all the way up here. He did get a little stronger. We probably shouldn't power him up or making him run all the way down,
Yeah.
And so that was good. And Korin, like I said, just kind of set him up on a platter for Goku. And Goku just, like, allows himself to get beaten up for a little bit. And, like, the whole time I was like, Goku's just, like, playing possum with him.
I say Goku kind of does the whole classic Goku thing where, like, but usually it's the first time where he's done the classic Goku thing, but it's where he actually is taking the punches. Because usually he does the classic Goku thing where he dodges a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I need to do this. It's like, he actually took the punches just to see what happened.
And then he, like, stops and he like, finally is done. He's like, wow, you're almost as strong as me.
And then he just, like, beats him up in a couple of hits.
But before we get to all that, while, like, this is a trope that I see with, like, as I've been rewatching the show, like, watching all the shows, I think that Goku does a lot of, like, do I know if he's going to get any stronger by going up and down the tower and all that stuff? I mean, he might get stronger. He might even be strong enough to beat me. But why would I worry myself about it? I'm going to go eat. I'm going to relax. I'm going to, have a good night.
Mentally prepare myself.
Yeah, he's just calm, And this happens at, like, multiple moments throughout the show where it's like somebody's like an Upa type character is like, Goku, shouldn't you be training? Like, the big bad is coming to destroy the universe in 2 days. What are you doing? And Goku's just like, yeah, we got 2 days. We'll train for half a day tomorrow and then we'll be good,
It's like, I'm not worried. And it's like, it's one of those things where, like, if villains could see how calm he is, they wouldn't challenge him all the time.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things where it's just like, it does concern you because it does feel like it's setting up for like this moment where Goku like overestimates himself and then gets beat up, and now he has to actually go on a training arc.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of similar to when he climbs the tower, but not exactly.
Yeah. My thing with it is...
Like a situation like that.
Yeah, later on in the show, Goku brings up a point, which I won't spoil what's going on in the general part of it, but he's like, if this is going to be the end of me and I'm going to die here in this fight, like, why should I waste my last, like, week on Earth to, like, train and a fight where, like, I'm not going to gain enough power in a week to beat this person. I'm... Like, if every little bit I add on top is not going to really change how strong I am.
It's just going to make me hate my last week of life.
Yeah. I'm going to be stressing out the whole time, worried about what's going to happen. I'm training. And so why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just relax and enjoy life for the last week?
Which is a similar sentiment that you hear from, like, certain patients. Like if someone gets, like, diagnosed with, like, a terminal condition where it's like, oh, you have 6 months to live or something. Yeah. And it's like, I could struggle and maybe be like the 0.1% that survives, or and odds are I just hate my life until the very end, or I just kind of just go enjoy things, like do a bucket list.
Yeah,
and you that's a common trope, and
coming from psych, like the thing they would always like tell us, like in our trainings and stuff, was like the moment you have a kid who's severely like has a lot of SI. Right? The moment where they're like, they go from being sad to super happy, that's when you got to be worried, because they've already made up their mind. They have their date picked out. Like, so the pressure of all of it's off now. And so it's kind of almost like that to a point where it's like, not for like, this is getting too serious at this moment, like, for what's going on in this moment. Because Goku's pretty sure that, like, Korin's in his corner and he's not just going to give it to him. You know,
but that
if Tao was up there for 3 or 4 or 5 days, Goku might start to be like, what is going on up there?
But I also think, like, deep down, he knew
that Korin
was never going to because the time of day.
Yeah,
because he immediately
Korin barely gave Goku the time of day.
Like, it really took Goku showing that, like, oh, this kid, like, is legitimately one of the, like, most honest, down to earth, honorable people I've ever met in my life. And so much so that it surprises me how honorable and down to earth he is.
Yeah, and it's not like and Goku's probably not smart enough that if you set him down to talk to him about it, that he could explain that that's what's going on. But something in him is like Goku, or it would be like Tao just doesn't have the juice to like do this
Tao's
training.
fine.
Yeah, Tao's too cocky to actually sit down and train.
Too impatient, cocky, and just flat out rude.
Yeah.
To even look within himself.
Yeah. There's like a better chance Korin just gets killed up top on the tower than Korin teaching him, you know?
Yeah. Which, I mean, Korin's probably an underratedly strong person in this universe.
Yeah, he's one of those, because, I mean, we saw it in this. He, like, broke his own thing that the Dodonray couldn't break by just, like, waving his wand at it, you know?
By just casting whatever...
Yeah.
Using whatever magical power he has.
Yeah, but it does seem like he's at least slightly concerned that, like, Tao would kill him, you know?
Yeah.
And also was scared that he was going to kill Appa. But, yeah, the parts of these episodes that kind of bothered me was jumping right back to Roshi and immediately perf moment. 5 minutes, 34 seconds in case you're wondering now.
To the first episode. And that's not even the only moment we have in all these episodes.
The only good thing that comes out of it is the jamming of the signal for the Dragon radars. Like, where we get to see the Red Ribbon armies jamming all the signals. Yeah. Which causes Bulma to build, like, a stronger radar that can go past the jamming technologies. But that part kind of confused me, because then, like, when we see them again, they are tracking the Dragon Ball, so they just, like, turn off the jam. I don't know what happened.
Or maybe they did their own alterations, but they just don't know the jam's not working. Because they did say, because, like, Red does complain, like, why does jamming their signal mean that our signal doesn't work?
This is dumb. Why are we doing
this? So they either just turn the jammer off entirely, or they, like, upgraded their system at the same time Bulma did, and so the jammer just doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
The jammer was just a fun
plot point for, like, 2 seconds.
Regardless of what it is, the jammer's just there to give an extra 30 seconds of screen time.
Yeah.
Like, it's very just like, oh, we got pad for time. Jammer moment.
Yeah.
Which, as we find out, is pretty much anime exclusive.
Yeah. And then we find out that like Tao, like at the end of the fight after Tao kind of beat up on Goku for a bit, and then Goku's just like, and even Korin's like, oh man, like that what he shouldn't have gotten that strong.
He's really bullying Goku.
Yeah, and then Goku's just like, nah, I'm okay, but you're not going to be, and just immediately locks back in and just beats the tar out of him.
Beats him so much that Tao has to fake surrender and then throw a grenade.
He hit him so hard that like his eye swole up. Like, did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like, because he got kicked in the face, and then there was like a pink spot around the face, and then the next time we see that eye, it's like a quarter of his face. He about lost that eyeball.
And he loses more than an eyeball.
Yeah, he loses a lot more than an eyeball, because then after he plays possum, he throws a grenade to like try to destroy Goku, and in the end, it ends up being the end of Mercenary Tao, all right?
Yeah, because Goku then, like, quick thinking, kicks it back at Tao as Tao is, like, jump flying away. And Tao's like, ugh, and then just explodes from his own grenade.
Yeah.
Which makes Korin chuckle. It's like,
Yeah.
Korin, you bugger.
Korin's like, yeah, there it is. He's like, I wish I could have done that. The thing I wanted to point out here is during the next episode in the Red golfing part, the whole thing where it's, like, Red is like, you should not be looking down on your superiors and stuff. It just gives off, like, inferiority complex so hard with Red.
He's got little man syndrome.
The last couple of
Incredibly
episodes,
hard.
in the last couple of episodes I've noticed, he's giving Pilaf vibes a bit, you know? Like, he went from this, like, fearsome guy with a funny accent to, like, almost, like, Pilaf 2. And I don't know if that's, like, like they made that choice,
Like a conscious choice?
or if it's just like it's partly just kind of seeping in slowly,
Yeah.
and it's just like subconsciously being added onto the character, or if it's like they're making a choice to turn him from fearsome to kind of a joke.
Or maybe there's something about, like, most normalist people get corrupted by the Dragon Balls in a way that, like, makes them insecure or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a weird special effect of the Dragon Balls. Because, I mean, it would be kind of like dragon sickness in, because I recently went back and watched, like, The Hobbit trilogy.
Yeah.
It's like the dragon sickness of, like, you're getting corrupted by this amazing all these riches and things. Could be something similar to that. That's a theory.
Yeah.
Which does get me back to the theory that I had about Launch and Bulma.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's the theory I have put out, and I'm sure it might be half right, probably mostly wrong. Is angry Launch somewhat scared of Bulma, or is it more that they form such a bond that angry Launch understands I shouldn't kill all these guys? It's one of the two.
My theory is on
Because she takes a lashing from Bulma for a second, and then just doesn't even retaliate.
I think the bit about it is that
I think but also I think last podcast episode you brought up a good point of like, well, now that Bulma's there's an extra woman, she feels safer.
I think it's more that, but also that like she's like the hyper. She almost feels like it was written as like a joke of like a hyper feminist type character.
Yeah,
like it's written like Yellow Launch versus Blue Launch is like trad wife Launch. Versus like ultra hyper, like, you know,
individualistic feminism,
like the caricature of like of a feminist type character, you know. And I think with that thought in mind, having another female there kind of chills her out just in general, because she's like, oh, I'm not the only one now. I'm not having to fight for my life.
I don't have to like make up for it.
And also partly is also like anytime we ever really saw Launch like go off on somebody like in the group, it's when they're trying to pull a shady underhanded thing on Blue Launch.
Yeah, and then she switches back over.
And right now all they're doing is pulling Shady Hunter, and Roshi's pulling Shady Hunter and stuff on Bulma. So Blue Launch isn't in the picture even when Blonde Launch isn't out. So it's kind of that. I think that's more of what it is.
Yeah.
Going back to our like multiple personalities thought process on it, where like Blue Launch is like a timid character, and then there's the aggressive like protector character, which is Blonde Launch. If the blue character's not getting picked on, the blonde isn't going to come out and just be aggressive at everybody. Like, she's still upset. She's still angry. Yeah, she still gets angry. She's still holding that gun when they're flying to.
I just like the thought process of also just like Bulma's is aggressive enough that like it just chills her out a little bit.
It's like there's a new alpha. I gotta bow down type of thing. I can see that as a bit too.
But I brought it up more as just like that'd be an interesting thought.
Yeah.
But I'm as I said, it's a theory, not a very strong theory. Didn't have a whole lot, didn't believe in it hard enough. But it was something I wrote down. I'm like, I bring it up.
I think there's a bit of column A, column B, column C. I don't think there's one straight answer, and whatever you pull from it is what you pull from it.
Yeah.
But I don't like. I think it's a bit of everything, that we said. There's a bit of the multiple personality. She's a little more docile because she doesn't have to be aggressive to protect Launch because Bulma's the prey in this situation.
Yeah.
Which sounds awful to say, but like,
horrible to say.
But like in this analogy, that's kind of what's going on. There's a bit of there's another woman, so I don't have to be the hyper feminist.
The numbers are more even, especially now that it's just the four of them on the island.
Yeah, plus Turtle.
Yeah,
and we haven't seen Turtle Jr. in a while, so
yeah. I mean, and also the turtle. I don't think the turtle counts.
Yeah, turtle's an asexual being. But he does have a child, so
Well, I would say, like, I think the turtle counts in her mind of like
he's not.
He's nowhere near a threat.
Yeah, he's never gonna do anything.
It's like, oh man, just gotta kick him and he'll leave.
Yeah. He's kind of like Jiminy Cricket in the Last Wish, the Puss in Boots' Last Wish. Oh guys, why are you doing this?
You're an irredeemable monster.
You're an irredeemable monster.
I mean, so much so that it even like helps Bulma in the final episode. We're like, well, why don't you just make a phone?
Yeah.
And Bulma's like, I could make a phone.
Yeah. Yeah, so going through this episode, before we get there, we got Colonel Violet finally, or another character.
Commander Violet.
They do say Colonel specifically. They specifically say Colonel. They say Colonel multiple times. Because Commander is red, so it's Colonel Violet or General whatever, But yeah, she has her own group of people, and in case you didn't know what color coordinated she is, she's the one with purple hair, so she's the purple one.
Yep.
Whereas like White had white hair, Silver wore like a silver duster, Blue had blue jeans on, and Yellow was a big yellow cat.
Yep.
Kind of explains something. But
I love their colors.
We've now hit, I think, most of the main colors. The only one we haven't really hit yet is green.
Yeah.
Because we've gotten red, we've got black, we've got white, we've got yellow, blue, white, silver, purple. So it would be like green and orange.
Yeah.
Would be like the other two, If I'm thinking color-wise,
Yeah, but it's nice. Like it's a great scene to kind of set up the
having that improved Dragon Radars just makes stuff super easy.
Yeah,
because
it's almost like that's why he was beating us to the Dragon Balls every time. Because he could just literally go there and then grab it.
Yeah, because she's literally just like floating on her little boat across the swamp or whatever.
She just sends a couple guys down and they find it in probably 10 seconds.
Yeah,
they find it in however long it takes them to get to the bottom.
Yeah, and then Violet just like allows her men to get eaten from the gator.
From the alligator.
She's like pushes two of them off the boat to like go get to their demise.
Just the classic Red Ribbon Army ruthlessness.
Yeah,
everyone knows and loves.
Yeah, this army is kind of crazy in that way. But then we get in this episode we get two references. We've got the Indiana Jones reference from the first Indiana Jones movie, Raiders. That's what it is. I was trying to think of the name. Where the plane won't start and the native tribe is running after them, shooting bows and arrows, throwing sticks and stuff. And then they finally get off on their little, boat plane.
And you even kind of have an animal, end up in the plane.
Yeah.
But it's just a monkey that she catches. It's like, and you see that she is a pseudo-gentle soul. Where she's like, oh, okay, time to go. And, lets it go.
Yeah. And then the next one comes later. Because at this point, we have to go to Roshi doing awful Roshi things again. Just being awful. And this is the part where they get the spy drone working. And they're they go up to fix the booth, and he's like, well, what I could do is I could go check out the local beach and see all the people changing that I shouldn't be watching. It's an insane invasion of privacy. But luckily, they cut out before he can really invade the privacy of that woman, and all he ends up doing is seeing a man.
Seeing a man take his pants off.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess is comeuppance, but it's still kind of gross from Roshi there.
It makes him vomit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's better than nothing
then
in that situation.
Violet returns and gives her her ball away, gets her money, and pieces out.
Which is what I do want to bring up. Like, he's at least, like, Red's at least honorable enough to, like, if you do a good job and you do what you're hired to do, he will honestly pay you.
But if you don't, you get killed.
but if you don't, you get the ultimate punishment. Which just like it's like fun to see. Like, oh, now that they have the cool, awesome Dragon Radar, like the people aren't as useless.
Yeah, it's like, oh, now
it's almost like it might have been the technology holding them back in the first place.
Yeah, it's almost like they could have had all the Dragon Balls before Goku even got involved if they had the accurate Dragon Radar.
They just tried a little bit more to like be prepared.
Yeah.
Before launching out and conquering villages, angering all the locals.
Yeah.
But who's who? What am I to say that?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Coming back to launch, though, she just like knows where the base is. She's like, "That's where the base is," and they're like, "No way!" And then they zoom in and like, "Oh crap, that is where the base is," and that's where we get our second reference of the day, where it's the Star Wars reference. It's a bit of two different Star Wars references pushed together. Because it looks like the Death Star run, like where Luke is running through the Death Star and
Death Star.
Yeah, with like
in the
shots
trench
going everywhere.
The trench of the Death Star.
Yeah,
and then it's also mixed with like it looks like Hoth, but that's also most snowy places and things look like Hoth to be fair.
Yeah, it does. It's like
I think
the
it's
Death
more,
Star on Hoth. You know?
Yeah, I think it's more just like it's in the snow, so it's not like as 1-to-1.
Yeah.
More than like, oh, it's in the snow because of Hoth.
But I think part of it is that it just the fact that they're doing a Star Wars reference makes me think they're doing two at once. You know. Plus, Empire had just recently came out because I think it came out in like 83 or 84. So
yeah, around that time.
Yeah.
Well, the first one came out in what, 77?
Yeah, so it might have been 80. I'm looking it up right now. But anyways, it just like because they were doing a Star Wars reference made me think it was just another one.
Yeah,
it was 80 when it came
Empire
out.
Strikes Back is 80 and then Return is 83.
Yeah.
But New Hope was 77, that's right.
Yeah. So, like, the fact that they were doing a Star Wars reference, it just makes me think they were doing two Star Wars references there.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. But it could also just be like, oh, to avoid like maybe getting in trouble with Lucasfilms, we just put it in a different location.
It looks like the Death Star trench run, but for legal reasons, it's visually distinct.
I changed the hallmark a little bit.
Yeah, it's like the whole like it's Godzilla. It's not Godzilla. It just looks like him, but for legal reasons, it's 25% more distinct.
It's like, it's Godzilla. No, it's actually, for legal reasons, it's not Godzilla. But we should still treat it, we should still run away like it is Godzilla.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know what movie that's from or what TV show.
I don't know either, but I've seen it a bunch of times.
It's a Japanese show, because they're speaking Japanese. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be Japanese. It could just be like an American show that's...
like spoofing a Japanese thing.
That's like, just has some Japanese speaking.
Yeah. But then Yamcha's back. Woo! Yamcha has returned.
And he does look more mature, which is weird because it's only probably been like maybe a month or two.
Yeah,
but I mean, when you're around the age that like Yamcha and Bulma are at, like you do start to mature out quickly.
Yeah, and I mean I also think part of it was wardrobe at this point because he is wearing like more like adult themed clothes instead of like his more kiddie stuff. Yeah. So just like it's you can change the way people like think of you and look at you just by changing your outfit a bit. So and then we get to the last few minutes of the episode, which I called a stall fest just because it did bother me. But I understand your point of view on it. And I understand that like it's just my preference because I didn't have a problem with it earlier when they did it with the Upa stuff, Yeah. But it does. I think if they had picked a lane with the like after we talked about it a little bit, if you pick a lane, you either do full narration or you do full song, it would have made it better. Because I honestly think a scene of like you hear the sound effects of him flying around, seeing the atmosphere and stuff as like the song is playing in the background of like go, kill the Red Ribbon Army. They freaking suck, dude. Like Goku's gonna do this. They're a horrible blight on humanity, and they need to go away. While Goku's flying around on the Nimbus Cloud, and we're getting like flashbacks of like Silver and all the bad he did, and White and all the bad he did, and all the friends you made along the way, and this is building to the giant like climactic finish of this saga. It would have been great. Or if you do it without the music playing in the background distracting us, and you have the narrator telling us what Goku is thinking, it could have worked. But my preference would have been the song with no narration, and we just get to see it on Goku's face that like he's thinking about this stuff. He's flying. That you can obviously tell that he's almost like singing the song to himself as he's like flying to do it. And I think, obviously they said that if you just watch the Japanese version, that is what you get, and that would have probably improved my watching of it. But it just almost felt like we could have skipped the last like minute and a half, 2 minutes of the episode. Like it was unnecessary, I guess.
Yeah, I do like it. I mean, because you're getting up to close to the end of the saga, you're trying to hook people into the show.
Yeah.
So like that's why it's there and why it's happening.
Yeah. And I can understand that. It's just for me, it's I cannot be okay with it while also still pointing out that I think it could have been better.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not like it's. I think after talking about it, it's no longer my worst part. But coming into it, I was like, man, that really rubbed me the wrong way. But
yeah, I do agree. I do agree with the fact of they should have picked one or the other. And I personally don't have an opinion of which one I think would be better. I think because if you pick a lane, the narration's better and the song is better.
Yeah.
So it's like by just doing one or the other, it makes whatever one you do good enough to be like that was enjoyable for whatever reason. I do like that like the ending of the narration kind of proclaims Goku as what we've what we have said since the beginning of this of us watching and podcasting is that Goku really is just a symbol of good.
Yeah, he's the champion of goodness.
Like it's why he gets so many parallels to Superman. Is he is kind of in a way a Japanese Superman character of like he represents all like of hope, of goodness, of honesty in the world. Like all things good in the world, Goku is a champion of. And they crown him Goku champion of good as it like cuts to black at the end of the episode.
Yeah, and my favorite thing going on to this Goku soapbox is that he's also like the way Toriyama writes the show is that the good characters get the good thing by being good. Like Goku by being good and nice-hearted and taking the turtle, going all the way back to the beginning of the show. Taking the turtle to the ocean, runs into Roshi, gets the Nimbus Cloud, gets another Dragon Ball. Goku being nice to Oolong after like beating him up shows Oolong the error in his ways.
Gets a lifelong friend.
friend.
The seemingly lifelong friend.
Yeah. Goku understanding where Yamcha's coming from and understanding, like, seeing the good in Yamcha, turns Yamcha onto their side and he has a friend, a partner in the Pilaf battle and beyond.
And even gets Yamcha a girlfriend.
Yeah. Gets Yamcha what his wish is, It doesn't work out.
It gets Bulma and Yamcha. Well,
it doesn't
moment has worked.
It doesn't work out at this point. But he gets both their wishes. He helps turn Bulma into more of a good person instead of kind of like the spoiled brat that she was. Yeah. Puar was already pretty good, so we're not going to count her. But he's able to tame the Ox King, get a bride that he doesn't understand.
Get a bride that's still up in the air.
Yeah. Along the way, he tames Ader. He makes friends with the people of the north, in the Whites area.
It's like everywhere he goes, purely by just his honest, pure, good heart.
Yeah.
He leaves everywhere that he was better than he found it. It's like it's the classic like leave everything better than how it was when you arrived. Like be everything better than you found it. And it's that classic saying. And he's a character that just simplifies that.
And he's also been rewarded for it. You know, he's gotten every Dragon Ball he's wanted.
You compare it to like the bad guys, where it's like, yeah, they succeed in the short term, but because they're so bad, they're doing so many evil deeds. At the end, it's the goodness of Goku and the like honest people he has kept around him that ultimately win the day.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, look at Tao. It's like he did so many awful things. Now he gets blown up by his own grenade.
Yeah.
Like Pilaf has been disappeared for now, but like every time Pilaf did something, oh, he's gone now.
Yeah. And that's, the fact that he is like a totem of goodness. And, you know, and in Eastern cultures, there's more of the thought of like the karmatic justice of the world.
Like karma's a bigger thing there than it necessarily is.
Yeah, over here in America, a lot of the people you run into, especially where we live, is more Christianity of do good things because, you know, God will reward you. But this is like the way the Eastern comes at it is like the Eastern like cultures come at it.
It's like what goes around comes around.
Yeah, it's, you know, you do good things not because somebody's going to reward you, but because if you do enough good things, you're putting enough goodness in the world.
It will even out for you.
Yeah.
It's like
instead
if you
of the other way around.
If you turn in 1 million wallets, like without stealing a single bit of money, and it's like it just kind of does go with like, you know, you could do it for a selfish reason. Well, someone will pay me, but like theoretically, if you go into it with pure of heart, someone will offer you something in return. Whether they cook you a meal, they give you like a $20 bill, and just, you know, it's not the
whatever
same.
it is,
$20 whatever. From their wallet because like, oh, you returned it, you're honest. It's like whatever happens, or you take the cat out of the tree and then the universe comes around and you win the lottery. Like it's like never that extreme. But that's a great way to explain it.
Yeah, it's in it,
and he's a beacon of that, where it's like, oh, he's always doing good, so you know he wins. Like
he wins.
He's always doing good, so he gets the water faster than anybody else has. Granted, only one person has gotten it, but he gets the water from Korin in 3 days. Purely just because of how pure of heart he is.
Yeah, he's able to win the fights he has to win because he has done the little things and done the nice things to give himself like the odds boost in the
give
fight,
himself
you know?
he's got he's got an insanely awesome found family
it's
because
like
he treats everyone with respect and care.
Another point is like, you know, what is it? And there's where if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, the DM can give you like a token or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of systems like in video games, like there's the favor system, and I think
in Fable,
in Red Dead Redemption 2 especially is like you either have I forget the actual word. Like, I've never played it, but like
it's your reputation.
It's your reputation. Where it's like if you have a super hardcore negative reputation, it changes how the story plays out. Like there's a point where you get held at gunpoint by like one of your friends or whatever. Yeah. He like comes to interrogate you like a train station. And if you have good karma, he completely is like relaxed, doesn't have his finger on the trigger, nothing. Like he's just holding the gun up to you. No chance. Like if you reacted negatively, you would probably beat him because he's not ready to shoot at you. Yeah. But if you have bad karma, he's like almost pressing the trigger down a little bit. Like in the moment you do any sort of movement, your head's blown off. Yeah, it's like, and there's tons of moments across that game.
And I've played the game, and there's a lot of gameplay mechanics behind it too. If you're more honorable and you have a higher like honor rating,
honor. That's what it is.
Yeah, if you have a higher honor rating, the shops will give you discounts and stuff. But if you have a lower one, they'll charge you more.
And people will be more willing to like there's probably side quests you might get locked out of.
Yeah.
If you have bad honor.
But
there's also probably side quests or like side quest endings you get if you have low honor.
So yeah, that's
like the game is there's a yin and yang to the game.
Yeah.
But if you want the best, goodest ending in most games, you have to be a nice person 90% of the time.
And the best part about it is like not to spoil. I'm not going to spoil Red Dead 2 here, but if you have
long enough.
I guess if you have good honor, obviously Arthur dies at the end. If you have good honor, Arthur dies at the top of the mountain and gets to like look off at the sunrise.
Yeah, see the sunrise.
Whereas
gets to go out kind of like in an angelic way.
Yeah, he gets to like set down and just watch it as he like passes
and if
away.
you have like bad honor, I think he just dies in like a gutter basically.
Well, what happens is
I know not,
in the final fight you get pushed off the mountain and that's how you die.
Yeah.
And so like then later on in the post game you can go find Arthur's death spot and it's you're either on the mountain where he was, where they like made a burial site, or there's just like a cross in the ground at the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah,
it's
people are like, we might as well acknowledge it, but it kind of sucks.
Yeah. But yeah, all that to say that like, there is something to being good for goodness sake and just doing it that way. And I think Goku is an epitome of that, of just like doing good because it's the good thing to do.
It's going to sound preachy. It's been preachy for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And it feels like we're preaching to like extend the runtime of the episode. We're not. But
yeah, we're just kind of
it's one of those things. But it's one of those things where it's like in the current shape of the world that we are in right now. And we've hammered it a couple times in the podcast over and over again in different episodes.
It feels refreshing.
It's refreshing to see true good overcome evil in such an emphatic way.
Yeah. And I mean, we could be watching other stuff that has that too. Like the Superman movie, which I know you haven't seen, has a pretty good version of that too. Because Superman, I mean, talking about allegories, like Superman is like the Western version of that.
Superman's the Western version of the allegory, and I'm sure, I think Kira even mentioned it at some point, like in his creations, like he was semi-inspired by like Western versions of good. Mainly Superman. Again, that's why they're always compared to each other, and why people always want them like to fight online and things.
Yeah.
Like, who would win in a fight? And it's like, it doesn't matter who would win the fight because they would be best bros.
Yeah, I think they'd just be broing out.
It's like they would be saving the world together.
Yeah.
Now again, if you got a death battle situation, obviously you got to figure out who it is. But in all intents and purposes, if these characters both met, they are not exchanging like grievances. They are exchanging a beer, in air quotes, and like reminiscing about how they've saved the world multiple different times and saved the universe multiple different times.
Yeah,
because they're just super nice characters. They're the same character with different power sets. I mean, you look at the allegory, like they're both aliens. They're both this. They're both that. Like, it's so obvious the parallels between them.
Yeah, but with that long tangent out of the way now, to start coming to the wrap up.
We keep going on that for 30 minutes.
We could sit here for another hour talking about
that. We could just make an entire podcast about being nice.
Jesse, your predictions from last episode is Goku will beat Tao.
Yep.
Yes. He goes to get the rest of the Dragon Balls. Yes. Bulma's spy drone finds the Red Ribbon Army hideout. I thought you were going to miss that one, but yes.
Technically, it does.
For the most, like, throughout the episode, I was like, is the spy drone even going to come back? Because, obviously, there are parts of these episodes that are just kind of blind spots to me.
Yeah.
But it comes back, and it does find it. So you hit 3 for 3 there.
Yeah.
All right, so
impressive.
The last 2 episodes of the saga, Jesse, is entitled A Real Bind and the End of Commander Red. What do you think is going to happen in these 2 episodes?
I'm going to go on a limb and assume that Goku... Sorry to burp. That Goku ends up getting caught somehow by the Red Ribbon Army because he's like... They find out like right before he shows up, like a camera spots him.
Yeah.
And so they launch like a trap. And he gets in a bind, and his friends have to show up while they're distracted, because like the Red Ribbon Army is distracted taking care of Goku, because it takes a lot of manpower to hold a person like Goku down, especially after the Korin Tower training.
Yeah.
And so, while they're distracted with Goku, they slip in and probably save him in the first episode, and then the final episode is like a big showdown where he finally beats Red.
All right, a big showdown, and Goku beats Red.
Yeah.
So just because you just kind of
I kind of rambled, yeah.
Kind of talked. These were the 3 predictions that kind of gathered out of what you said.
Yeah.
It was Goku gets caught somehow. His friends get there and distract an army a bit to free him,
or just free him in general.
Okay, I'll put to free him in there just so that it's we can count that generally. And then a big showdown and Goku beats Red.
Yep.
Okay. And so that's what you're...
Just makes the most sense considering it's the end of the saga.
Yeah. So what I will bring up now with these last 2 episodes, we'll go back to your big saga predictions to see how close we are. We will wrap up the Red Ribbon stuff. That feels like what's about to happen.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give it to you because we don't know yet. But that one feels like it's almost...
Feels like I'm probably
almost wrapped up. We will have a wish. I don't think that one's happening. No, because we only have 6 Dragon Balls.
I did purposely not mention him getting the 7th Dragon Ball because I don't think that's possible with this.
Yeah, with these 2 episodes.
With these 2 episodes, because it's not in the army's possession.
The only joking way I could see it happening is
like
if,
another, like the general they just gave the radar comes back with it, like as he's beating up Red.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey guys, oh no!" Or my thought process is that they've had a Dragon Ball this whole time, so the radar hasn't been picking up that there's a second Dragon Ball in the basement or something. Something silly like that. But I don't see that one happening.
But just because they purposely gave the radar to a different general
to go get,
so they probably know that general is near the radar, like near the Dragon Ball that they've already picked up.
Yeah,
because I feel like if that wasn't the case, if they weren't giving it to him, then maybe it could be something funny, like it's like in a cave that goes underneath the base or something.
We'll finally see the power of Red, to be determined. Krillin and Bulma shows back up to help. For the longest part of this saga, feels like a no, but it does feel like in these last 2 episodes it's going to come back to a yes. But it's up to you if you think that'll count, because I think what you were thinking is they're going to be along for this whole adventure, and they have not been. So I don't... Because you thought you thought in the first 2 episodes of this saga he was going right back to pick up Bulma and Krillin before going to whatever this tower is.
Yeah, I think that was kind of
the thought. But I will give it.
It's been a minute since I've said that prediction, so
which I will give it to you.
But I'm pretty sure that was the thought behind it.
Yeah,
I think you're right in that.
Yeah, I'm willing to give you that point there.
I mean, they are helping him probably not get murked next episode.
So I will count that one. So right now you've hit 2 with 2 left to go, and your 3 predictions going into the next episode.
One of my weaker sagas. Yeah. I think this is one of the weaker ones I've had.
Well, the other ones were like, we're gonna find out who Blue is and Goku's gonna win.
Yeah.
That was pretty easy. And so Jesse, with that, your worst part, what is it?
I mean, I gotta go with the Roshi. Like it's Roshi. Because I mean, outside of the Roshi purview, I'm gonna go with the first one.
I'm gonna go with the spy cam footage one.
And I don't go with the spy cam footage one purely because he actually gets he does get immediate comeuppance. Whereas this one, it's just like Bulma yelling at him. Like the first one.
Yeah, I can see that, but
he gets away with it because this is part of the episode with. No, that was last episode, I think, where Bulma was building the spy drone, and then she came back with it. I don't remember.
But yeah, it's for both of us. It's Roshi Perv moments.
Just take your
honorable mention is the ending, but I'm going to let it go just because after we talked about it, I came around on it a bit.
Through the discussion, which I mean, that's what discussions are for.
Yeah,
that's why we're doing the podcast, so we can discuss what we've watched and get our own opinions on it.
But I'll let it go. But it was one of those going into it. I was a pretty heavy favorite, so it'll be an honorable mention. But I won't count it as my pick. So best part, Jesse.
Whew. I really loved Corrin screwing with Tao.
Yeah,
that was probably. It's it was such a emphatic there's the cat and Corrin.
Yeah.
Right there.
For me, my best part is gonna be Goku winning the fight. Him taking all the licks, taking all the punches, and then being like, "Oh yeah, you're almost as strong as me," and then immediately winning. It's just that's one of my favorite tropes. Is like, "Oh man, you've gotten stronger." Unfortunately for you, I've gotten stronger, and just immediately wiping the floor with the person. That's just one of those things I enjoy, and no matter what. So that just really, really gets it for me. So, but with that, we've got our best parts out and our worst parts out. The predictions are done. So, this has been Becoming Saiyans, Dragon Ball Rewatch Podcast. Thank you all for listening. If you want to reach out to us at becomingsaiyans@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. They're all Becoming Saiyans pod. You can reach out to us on any of those spots. We'll be more than willing to listen or hear requests, anything you got to say to us. So, until next week, I've been Truman.
And I've been Jesse.
And the journey continues.
Bye.